Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Looks like we got quite a few people showing up. We're going to give it here a couple of minutes for everybody to show up and get on here. How is everybody feeling today? Hit me in chat. Hello, Alan and Tevin. And Levon, Bronter, Alan. Feeling good, feeling excited. Awesome. Love the first lesson. Great. All is well. Howdy, Sydney. Excited. Doing great from Kansas City, Missouri. Awesome. Yeah, definitely take it one step at a time, Lori. Great. Good to hear it, Levon. Excited to be here, says Jim. Awesome. Awesome. Chase is running a few minutes late today. He's going to be talking some today, and we'll get started here in just a minute. And so is there anybody? Tevin wants to know if people want to connect on LinkedIn. Is anybody here today that was not here on Monday? Let me know in the chat if you're here today, or Tuesday rather, that you were not here on Tuesday. You missed the first one and or you missed the replay. I don't see anybody. So it looks like everybody kind of has a general idea. You missed the first one, but already listened to the replay. Awesome, Jeff. Yes, there is an updated sheet. Let me get that. That is the updated sheet. Yeah, the first one, Chase decided to share the replay. He's not going to share the replays of any of the other classes, but just the first one, he shared it publicly to some people so they could see what they were missing. And so we needed to create a new sheet.
Okay, I am here. What's going on, everyone?
Awesome.
Welcome. What's going on? Okay, so we got 32 people, a little bit less than last time. We had around 50 to 60 last time. That's fine. I think a lot of people are going to catch the replays. So I want to do a quick recap on what happened last night. We had Cotton in here. We were talking about a new marketplace that we're building and we're releasing to people in the program. Again, it's something that's completely optional, but we decided that Cotton and what we were doing, not really a great fit. We're still going to continue with the marketplace. I want to tell you about that. And again, I'm going to recap you on last night. We're going to publish this obviously as a replay inside of the course. But again, we talked with him last night. He was going to help us basically. He was going to help provide some of the services to our group within the marketplace that we're building. And again, we just realized it wasn't a great fit. So either way, I want to talk about that first. And then I want to talk about what we're going to be doing today. The goal of today is we are going to be sending or understanding how to send our first messages. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to do this. And in the next one, Ryan's going to be talking about can spam and how you need to make sure you're set up before you start sending messages, because we want to make sure we're legally doing this. Because even with contact forms, we need to make sure that we're not just sending off messages, without giving people the ability to opt out. And Ryan, you can talk about this in a second. If you want to, we'll talk about it after. Don't worry about it right now. We're just going to talk about how to set up your virtual private server, or if you don't want a virtual private server and you have a Windows computer, we're going to show you how to install the contact form app that we're going to be using. And then we're going to be talking about just like the basics to it. Okay. So first of all, with the marketplace, can everybody hear me all right? By the way, let me just get a 1 in chat if we're all good to go. Give me a yes. Tried to watch yesterday's replay, but the link doesn't work. Yeah, like I said, we're going to nix that one. Cotton wasn't a great fit for us. He's a great marketer. If you want to check him out, check him out on your own time. The reason why we brought him on is because he was going to help us with our marketplace. And again, we just didn't realize, we didn't think it was a good fit for us. So, but either way, we're going to still do it. Okay. Everybody can hear me. Cool. All right. So marketplace, what is it? So ideally what we're doing is we're setting up a marketplace. So because there's going to be some people in this program that don't want to have to go and generate their own leads. They're not going to want to set up the software. They're not going to want to set up the proxies. They're not going to want to have to figure everything out, right? And so if you're one of those people that doesn't want to have to figure that out, we're putting into the marketplace things, well, we're just going to do it for you. And so if you're not familiar with Ryan's past, he's been doing this stuff for years. He's been helping people send contact forms, generate leads. He does this for his own clients. And so what I thought was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we just gave the ability for people in the program to either buy the leads that we're generating, because we're generating leads every day, which we don't need that many leads. We already have a ton of leads. And so we're going to be setting something like that up. The ability for you to just send out any message you'd like. If you want Ryan to send out the messages for you, we're going to set something up like that for you. And we already have people like Jeff. I see Jeff in here. Good to see you, man. That utilize Ryan's services to do this. We're going to be offering other things as well. Like we'll do the SEO for you. We're actually building a team of people that will go and do your SEO audits. They'll do any fulfillment for your clients. We'll do content. And so we're building this whole marketplace for you so that if you don't want to generate the leads, if you don't want to do the services, if you don't want to do anything, you just want to start building something, you want to just put money in, we're going to be building that for you. So that's the news from last night. Basically, again, that's pretty much all we covered of last night. And so the marketplace is up. We're adding stuff in right now. And again, it's completely optional. There's going to be a lot of people that want to do this stuff on their own. We're just making this possible for the people that don't want to do it on their own, where it's not a hard sell. It's not something where you have to go and buy stuff from us. We're just trying to give you more resources so you have the ability to be successful if you don't want to do it yourself. Okay. And yeah, it looks like people are good on that. Is everybody cool with that? So can somebody drop the link, Rena or Ryan, whoever has it, can somebody drop the link to the market? Okay, yeah, here it is. It's called Digital Profits Marketplace, spp.io. And let me actually just show you really quick what this looks like. We're not going to spend too much time here. I just want to show you very quickly. We can cover this more in the future. Can everybody see my screen? Give me a 1 or a yes. Oh, good question. No more Wednesday sessions. So my goal, so no matter what, you're going to get 2 classes a week, no matter what. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's never going to change. I am going to try to get other speakers either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe even a day on the weekend. So just look out for any announcements within the Facebook group, the AI Profits community, which again, if you're not in yet, make sure you go join it. Or check your email. You'll know, I mean, you see how many emails I send. You'll know if there's somebody going to be speaking, okay? Because I'm going to say it, I'm going to announce it to everybody. But yeah, you're definitely going to get 2 classes no matter what per week, and I'm going to try to get more in there as well. But they're going to be more impromptu, okay? So everybody can see my screen. Sorry, I'm all hyped up right now. I just drank a bunch of caffeine. Let me drink a water. Okay, could it just be 1 hour before? Yeah, we'll figure it out. I kind of like this time. It seems like this is probably around the time that we do the best, but I can do a poll as well and see what works for everybody. So this is the dashboard. Again, if you go to this link right now, you can follow along. Basically, you don't have to pay anything to look at this. You can just log in, create an account. Basically, you sign up, free account. Once you log in, see if I remember my login, you will get a dashboard. You might have to sign up again with a different email. You sign up. You'll get a dashboard with everything that we're putting in here. And we'll tell you, like, we'll announce anything that we end up putting in here. Like this. Takes 2 seconds to sign up. And so in here, there's different things like, book a strategy call if you want to talk to one of us one-on-one. We have the different services we're adding in here. So we're going to end up adding, ignore this stuff for now, because this was some of the stuff that we were going to offer. We're going to take this out. We're going to mainly be starting with done for you lead service that Ryan's going to be offering, contact forms that he'll send for you if you don't want to do it. And like I said, everything in here will be in here. Basically, you can order it. It'll be in your dashboard. That's it. Okay. So now you know how it works. All right. Now let's actually talk about the lesson, because again, I'm not here to pitch you anything. I just wanted to give you that as a resource. So in the first class, we talked about basic stuff, right? How to get into the Facebook group, how to get the replay sheet. Does everybody have that? All right, give me a 1 in the chat if you understand how to get into the group and get the replay sheet. If you don't, support@chaserunner.com, send us an email. We'll get you hooked up with anything you need. Okay, everybody's good. 111. Awesome. Cool. Need the link to the Facebook. That should be in the sheet as well, I believe. Rena can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do today is we're going to just be covering a basic install of the tool that we're going to be using. Okay. If you don't have a Windows PC, or if you do have a Windows PC, you might want to consider getting a virtual private server. Now, what is a virtual private server? So a virtual private server, or a VPS, is supposed to be a way for you to connect to another computer so you don't have to have the thing that you're running on your main computer. Okay, so just imagine, let's say you wanted to connect to my computer right now. You can open up an app that will connect to my computer, and you can basically have a second computer. And the reason why this is nice is so that if you're working on your main computer, you don't have to have all this other stuff going on in the background, right? Because the app's going to be using a lot of your computer's resources. So what do? We get a connection to another computer. Ryan, do you want to explain this in more detail?
Sure. So basically a VPS. So kind of just think about this here's how I like to think about this. If I have a laptop, you have a laptop, a desktop, whatever. If you were to take that, a second computer, buy that, go to Best Buy, wherever you get a computer from, take that and go set it at your friend's house, at your brother's house, your sister's house, your mother's house, whatever, right? And so there's a computer there. So you could go there and you could work on that computer, and you could go to your home or your office and work on that computer, right? So you have two computers. But what the VPS allows you to do is it's just a method that allows you to connect from your computer, like your personal laptop or your office laptop or desktop, to that other computer that you have somewhere else, and then control it remotely. And it makes it virtually just like you're right in front of it. It's kind of like right now we're all in a virtual room where we can all see each other, hear each other, that sort of thing. So we're kind of all together, even though we're scattered around the world. This lets you take a computer that you basically get from someone else, you're renting it, and you can connect to it just like you were right in front of it. It looks and feels just like you're controlling your exact desktop. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the chat. Because basically the value here is that you can, okay, I got a lot of people that make sense, is you can get access to another computer that obviously you don't have to have in front of you. You could use it on your computer, but the VPS stands for virtual private server, and the virtual part there is the V in VPS.
Right. So, and again, this is optional. If you have a Windows computer, you don't need to run this. The reason why it's nice to have is because, again, if for example, if you don't have a Windows computer, or you don't want it running on your main computer, you can set up a connection to another computer. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to put the link, if you guys don't have it yet. There's 18 people in here, so I believe a lot of you are in it. I just put it in the chat. We're going to go to the apps section of the course right here, and we're going to click on the tool here, Solid SEO VPS. I'm going to actually put this at the top because this is the first thing we're going to be using. Now, again, optional. If you already have a Windows computer and you don't want to have to get a VPS, that's fine. Ryan, I think it would be good for you to jump in and explain maybe the different things that they might be seeing in here in terms of, you know, there's a bunch of different options. What is the most optimal thing that they could be using?
Well, first of all, you have to be careful and just take note of the fact that these companies sell many different types of servers, and we need Windows. So you got to get a Windows server. So we can see there they have Mac servers, they have Linux servers, and they have web hosting. We don't want any of that. We actually want the Windows VPS. And then when we get into the Windows VPS,
step one, go up to Windows VPS up here. And then what do we click on?
So we can just go for baseline X right up in the upper left-hand corner.
Okay,
just start at the very front.
X. Got it. Okay, now we got all these different options. What are we looking at here?
Right. So ideally, you want to start at that. So that second row down, the X-4GB, that you want to go there or higher. And the easiest way to think about this is think about your strategy. You can always upgrade. That's a beautiful thing. But if you want to go and jump into this hardcore, just go to the bottom and sign up for the most expensive package. If you want to go with
So
this and just start with the X4.
what is the difference though between if for somebody who doesn't know what X4 or X16, what is the big difference between these different servers?
Sure. So the big difference in relation to this setup is that you have to pay attention to the two columns there, one labeled CPU and one labeled RAM. So the CPU is the speed at which you can get things done. So, how fast you can go. And the RAM is how much you can do, how much stuff you can manage at once. Like, do you want to have managing like one project or two, or do you want to manage like 10 or 15 or 20? It's basically, so the two of those. So the more money you spend, the more you can manage at once as far as this setup. And the processor, the speed is really just all the same.
So basically what you mean is that if we're going to be running this tool on here, if we get one that is higher up in the chain, I guess it'll run faster. Is that what you're saying?
It'll run faster, and it will run faster, and you can do more projects at once at the same time.
Okay, and so let's, I guess, go over then, what would somebody who's just starting out, what would they need to be able to send out, let's say, their first 10,000 messages? What would be a good start here?
The X-4 gigabyte one, that second one you have highlighted right now, that's
okay.
$18.95. That'll get you 10,000 messages, no problem.
And so this is $18.95 per month to basically have a private server that they can connect to, right?
Correct. There's
now again,
taxes
and we want, and again, guys, we're not, this isn't our tool. We don't sell this stuff. If you click the link, it will give us like, a small percentage of the sale, but this isn't our stuff. And we're not saying, hey, you have to do this. We're just showing you what we're doing. And I'll actually show you really quick, our own server here. We have our own server that we're running. If I go to remote desktop here, this is what we're going to use to connect. We're running our own server. Which one are we using? Do you know, Ryan?
It's not so none of those. It's a totally dedicated. It's massive. It's not even massive on this list. Like, it's custom. I went to them and said, "This is what I need."
Okay, so Ryan's going big time. He sends out 60 million messages a week, so we don't have to do what Ryan's doing. Okay, so let's start out with this. And again, we will answer questions at the end. By the way, everyone, don't worry. Like, if you're confused right now, but as far as understanding, what a private server is, or a, remote desktop connection, it's the same thing. And getting a server, do you guys kind of get what we're talking about here? Just give me a yes if you're following along. Just want to make sure everybody is on the same page here. And I think it'll make more sense too when you see us connect to it. We got some questions. For VPS, you need at least 4 GM RAM so it can run smooth without the hiccups. I believe that's true, right, Ryan? At least 4 gigabytes of RAM?
Yeah, you really, if you want, you mean, yes.
Opposed to the 2.
Yeah, the two, like, you could hobble along on the 2, but you're going to have a poor experience.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and it's the only difference between like $8. So I guess it's probably a little bit better to just put the extra $8 in. But anyways, we're going to click on order now. And again, if you're not getting a virtual private server, don't worry about this, because we are going to just be using just your regular desktop. Now you see it says 56 here. We're going to go instead to, is there only quarterly available, Ryan? Do you know? I thought there was monthly.
It probably is only quarterly on the low end ones.
Oh, on the low end.
There's other ones up there that we could probably spend a few more bucks. I just didn't want to get too deep into this.
Okay. So look, again, if you're going to be sending the messages, might be worth it. Maybe we should click on the other ones just to see really quick. Let's see about this one. That's 34. Okay, so I guess they're all quarterly. I could have sworn they were monthly before. I'm just going to go ahead and order this for everybody just so I can show you what the checkout looks like and everything. Okay, so what does this mean, Ryan? The host name for your server is invalid. So server name, we have to name our server. Is that what it is?
Correct. It does not matter. You can put anything in there you want.
We're going to call it Chase Reiner server. The password, we're just going to whatever we want. Does it matter what we choose here? Windows 2008 retired, Europe, any of this stuff?
For the OS, it would be ideal to choose 2019 or 2016 are ideal OS. As far
Okay.
as location goes, the location doesn't matter. The only thing I will note on the location is that, remember, you're physically connecting to this through the internet. So if you pick a location that happens to be all the way around the world, and you have a slow internet connection, you might have a slower experience. Whereas if you pick a physical location closer to you, you might have a slightly better experience. Unless you're running like super slow internet, then it's mute.
Okay, so can we just do like Atlanta or something? Doesn't matter.
Absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, and then please type selected location to confirm. We'll just do just copy it, Atlanta, GA. Click on continue. All right, let's check out. I might have to do some payment details here really quick. Give me 1 second. And again, we already have one, but I just want to show you what this looks like. So this is the checkout here. Let me just enter in my information really quick so you can see. What I'll probably end up doing actually is I'm going to give this private server to somebody in the class. All you have to do to enter, we'll pull it at the end of today. All you have to do, or we'll do tomorrow so that way some people can see the replay. All you have to do to enter is just comment in our Facebook group and say one thing about the class. Say you're excited, say whatever. Ideally, every time we do a class, I would love you guys to post in there. And so this is just an incentive to do it. Whoever posts in there, we'll put you in a raffle and you'll get the private server we're buying right now. Let me do this. Okay, so it takes you to the client area afterwards. And of course, I have 500 different passwords here. You log in. Oh my God. I guess next time we'll be a little bit more ready for this. Sorry about that, guys. Ryan, do you want to explain what they're about to get while I reset this really quick?
Yeah, so it's going to be, I showed it briefly yesterday. It was kind of in Windows. I was kind of going over it really fast, but what you're going to get is a Windows desktop. So if you're familiar with Windows, this is going to look basically just like what you have. It feels like Windows 10, Windows 11. So you're going to have a start menu, you're going to have a desktop, you're going to have, you know, everything that you have on a Windows computer. You're just going to connect to this computer that's setting somewhere else, and you'll be able to use it. And the wonderful thing about that is, if you could imagine taking a computer that you have and say you have your computer you use now, and you take a computer and put it at a relative's house or at your office or somewhere, that computer is always running. So when you connect to it and you start up your campaign and it's generating leads for you, when you disconnect from it, you could take your computer you're using now and shut it off or do whatever you're going to do with it. And this other computer that's setting out there, it's just running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's actually running in a data center. So it's managed by professionals that handle everything. They make sure it's always running. They make sure the internet's always connected. They make sure everything's happening. So all you have to do is just use it and let it do its thing. And you don't have to worry about maintenance or management or anything. It just works.
Okay, exactly. And so here's what's going to happen. You're going to go to your account portal, and then you're going to have your VPSs. Now, I guess the one that I just tried to buy didn't go through, but if you click on whatever your VPS is, it should give you your details, I believe. Oh, I guess it's not there. And basically Ryan, they give you an IP, right? And the IP is going to be whatever you put into your remote desktop. So let me show you this. So on Windows or Mac has its own remote desktop. If you type in remote desktop for Mac, you're going to see it's this thing right here. If you just type it on Google, it'll give you like a little connector, and they're going to have the same thing. So it's going to ask you right here when you open it up for the computer's name. So whatever the IP address is, and then it's going to ask you for whatever the password is that you set. And let me log into ours really quick so you can see this. Get it from Ryan's DMs he sent me.
Yeah, so let me say something on that while Chase does that. that password that we set in there, assuming that you use solid SEO VPS, they may go ahead and use that password, but sometimes these companies will assign to you, if they don't think your password is secure enough or whatever, they will assign to you another password. And so, but they will email that to you. So as soon as you buy, basically you just go and check out, and they're going to send you an email, and they should also put it in the portal there once it's set up. And then you'll have an IP address, a username, and a password. And it's really just basically that. It's the same as logging into anything else, except for now we also have an IP address. So if you want to kind of think about the IP address as a URL, if you were to go to some website, you'd have to go to that website and then have a username and password. The IP is kind of like going to the website of the computer, if that helps you, even though it's not a website. And once you get there, you plug it in and log in, and it'll do some connecting, and it'll flash a couple messages on the screen, and then it will open up a desktop in a window just in front of you. And it's actually really simple to use.
So yeah, the username that we have is Chase. The password is whatever the password is that we set, or whatever they gave us in the email. And then we click on go. And then this is our private server. Okay. So as you can see, this is a different computer we're on right now. So this is some computer in Atlanta, Georgia, right? So like if you were in Atlanta, Georgia right now and looking at this computer that we're on, if you saw our mouse moving, you would see this happening in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? There's nobody on that computer. We're on it from a different location. So this is our computer here. We're doing whatever we want. And if we want to switch to our other computer, we have it now with the VPS. Okay. Now I know that was a little bit painful there. I wanted it to be a little bit more smooth. It takes a little bit of effort to get one of these set up. Like I said, we're going to be adding services into the marketplace. Maybe something that we add in is we'll set it up for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But can you guys, at least in the chat, let me know if we're on the same page here, if you kind of understand what we just did in a general sense. I just want to make sure we're good. If not, let me know right now in the chat. Okay, Lori's good, Jim's good, Sydney's good. And look, if you're having a hard time with it too, don't worry. Like, we're going to get you whatever help you need if you're having any problems with it. Okay. All right. So here's the virtual private server. Now we need to set up the tool. So we got one tool that we want to start with, right? And it's this right here. It's the GSA tool. Okay. I'll answer these questions at the end. We'll have Ryan jump in and answer these questions at the end. What software like TeamViewer? No, TeamViewer is to connect to somebody else's computer that you're like trying to help them with something. This is to this is to have your own computer, your dedicated own computer. Okay. So we're going to go to Google Chrome, or actually we're going to go to the spreadsheet, which we can open up here on the browser. Do we have, what we need is a redirect link to the spreadsheet. We're going to actually have to get one of those if possible at some point, Rena. It would be good to just give them a redirect link so they don't have to remember the whole link. But inside of the spreadsheet, I'm going to go over here. We're going to open up apps and bots. And again, this is on the private server now, right? And we're going to click on GSA website. So I'm going to make this the second one because the first one we used was the solid. And the second one now is the next thing we're going to be using, which is GSA. Okay. Click on that, go to this link. So GSA is 97 bucks. There's no way around this. One thing we are doing right now is we're building our own tool. We're finishing the UI design of ShineRaker, which should be up pretty soon. Actually, if you guys haven't seen that yet, it's really cool. But after that, we're gonna have our own tool. For now, we have to use this tool. It's like, unless you want to do it manually, right? So if you want to go and manually go submit to every single website on the internet, go ahead. It's going to take a really long time. The only other alternative really is this tool. Okay. So we buy it. And then Ryan, when you buy this tool, what happens? Do they send you a link? How does it work? Because I don't want to have to buy this tool again. I guess we could buy it and give it away as well.
Yeah. So what happens is this company to checkout is they manage the licensing for the GSA company. So as soon as you buy it, you'll get an email. It does take a few minutes because I have to generate a license and verify the payment, all that stuff. And then some minutes later, after you purchase, you'll get a second email from the company, and it has your license information in it. The license information is very simple. It's your name and a serial number. And so they also have your email address in there as part of the license, but GSA doesn't actually use that. So all you have to do is basically, once you buy it, then you're going to get it also in the email is a download link, but the download link is also just public right on their website. You can download it, and once it's downloaded, we just run it. So assuming that we have gone ahead and entered our payment information and we hit submit and we waited a few minutes for everything to go through, we now have an email address with the download link and with our license information.
So basically, you're going to buy the tool, you're going to get an email with the link to download the tool, and you're going to get a key that you basically are going to enter into the tool when you open it up. Okay, so when you download the tool, it's going to open it up, it's going to look like this, and it's going to ask you for the key. Okay, you just enter it in. Now we're in the tool. Okay, so we're in the tool, we're on our virtual private server. Now that was probably the hardest part of the entire thing. If you can do this, if you can do what we just covered, getting the VPS set up, or not getting the VPS set up if you already have a Windows computer, and downloading this and installing it with the license key, that's the hardest part. Like, that's going to be the hardest part of this entire class. Okay. Everything else after this, we're smooth sailing. So the reason why I'm so adamant about showing this first step is because I want to make sure everybody gets to this point, because after this, we're smooth sailing. So I just want to make sure if you guys aren't on the same page about this, please ask now. You can also DM me in Zoom, and I won't even mention your name. I'll answer your questions without mentioning your name, because I know some people are worried, get worried, right? But I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with where we're at now. Okay, just give me a yes or a 1 if we're good. Give me a 2 if you're still on the fence. Ones, yes. Cool, all good. Okay. And give me a 3 if you're like in the middle. Okay, cool. So mostly ones. Awesome. All right, so we're on the app. Okay, Jordan's a little bit on the fence. Okay, no worries. Again, we can always do another recap on this too, so don't worry. So we're in the app, right? Now the app looks a little odd. And honestly, it is the reason that we're building our own app is because of this, right? The reason why we're building our own contact form tool is so that you don't have to worry about a VPS. You don't have to worry about desktop software. You don't have to worry about having a Windows computer. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff. We're going to do it all for you. But for the meantime, we have to do it this way because it's the only way to do it until, our programmers build the other thing, which they are building right now. Okay. So what is the tool? What are we looking at? Ryan, can you go over, and I let you share the screen, or I can just do whatever you say. Can you go over the most basic way to get set up sending messages?
Yes. So we're going to click new up in the upper left-hand corner there where you need an actual project. Now we just need to give it a name. Doesn't matter. This is just for your own purposes. So whatever you want to name it, and you could even just name it test to start and play with the stuff. Right? Click OK. And then once we're set up, we have a whole bunch of tabs. Don't stress out about them. We don't really need to worry about most of those. This first tab is scraping. Scraping is where you gather a list of businesses that you'd like to contact. So if you'd like to contact plumbers, or you'd like to contact real estate agents, or maybe you just want to contact any business because you're selling them something that is general, whatever you want to contact, you enter your keywords here. So up in the upper right-hand corner, there's an add button. If you click add, you can now begin to, and we can go into this farther about how you can use ShineRanker to generate a massive amount of keywords, but this is just basic, remember. So if you hit enter there, Chase, and now we're just going to enter something in. So like enter plumbers.
Well, let me actually ask, because I want to get an idea. What do you guys want to find leads for? Give us some ideas in the chat. Do you want leads for plumbing websites? Do you want leads for, okay, Evan says electricians, doctors, okay, affiliate. Now, Ryan, let's talk about this before we go into this. Can we find leads for all these different industries?
Yes. So if we wanted to find leads for restaurants, we'd enter restaurants here. If we wanted to find leads for deck builders, we could try deck builders, but we might want to do some general keywords like general contractor. For affiliate SEO stuff, I assume that you can sell an affiliate SEO stuff to any business. So we could literally enter any keyword. Roofers is easy, just enter roofers. But you could also, if you want to sell to roofers, but like if that's service industry, so maybe you want to enter other service industry keywords if you can sell to those. Does
So
not have to be local.
let's break down what we're doing right now. So when we enter in a keyword like roofers, what's going to happen is this tool is going to find any website that's listed on different search engines like Google, Bing, wherever. It's going to go and find websites that are listed for that keyword. So if we type in jewelers, it's going to find a bunch of websites that are listed for jewelers. If we want to find affiliate, websites that we can sell our products to with affiliate, we could type in something like roofers, find a bunch of roofing websites and contact them about a tool that might help them with their roofing company. And so it doesn't matter whether or not you do affiliate. It doesn't matter whether you do services. It doesn't matter whether you sell, Girl Scout cookies. You can sell whatever you want. The trick here is you want to find websites that are relevant for the thing that you're selling. And the way you can do that is by entering in a keyword that you want to find websites for. So let's start out by typing in roofers. We're going to click on OK. And then what's going to happen well, actually, you go ahead, Ryan. You say it.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is I'll give you high level and I'm going to break this down. At a high level, it's going to go out now to all the search engines that you have selected in this bottom section. You can leave it default, especially just to test, but you can play with that. We'll cover it later. And it's going to go out and it's going to find roofers that it can send a message to. So let me break that down. What that means is this is super simple. You guys do this every day. You just don't know it. If you open up in Chrome or Firefox or Safari or whatever browser you use, and you go to google.com, and just like here, we're at Google, if you in the search box type roofers and just type it out and hit go, this list of roofers, this is all the tool is doing. Like you can literally do this manually. It just takes forever. So this tool is going to Google. It's loading a web page just like this, and it is copying out one by one at a rapid rate those websites of roofers. That's all it's doing. So like when you want to go find a roofer, you go to Google, you search for roofers, this tool is going to Google, and it's literally going to give you the same results that Google gets, or whatever search engines you select. So
in other words, basically when you type in roofers here as one of the keywords you want to look up, this tool is basically going to Google, typing this in for you, and then collecting all of these URLs, hundreds of these pages of URLs. It's going through and scanning all of them and putting them to a list. Okay. So that's step number one. We need to build our list of URLs, right? Or is everybody on the same page here? We're going to the tool, we're finding a keyword we want to find websites for, and we're collecting a list of those URLs with the tool. Does that make sense? We haven't collected the list yet. We're just choosing the keywords right now. If we put a website URL, the tool will find the page on the URL that has a contact form, Ryan? That's what
correct. Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely.
I don't even
if
understand.
You have your own list.
Yeah, you can up your, okay. And that's a good point too, is if you add and then we'll talk about this later, but inside of our marketplace, Ryan actually has a service where he just gives you the URLs. He builds his own list. He goes and, he uses these massive servers that he has and all this, all of his resources to build these lists for you. So you can just buy the lists instead of having to scan them yourself. And so as we build our tool too, one of our goals with the tool is we're going to end up scanning these lists for you, finding all the roofing companies, finding all the plumbing companies. And so you'll have access to these lists that you can just buy ahead of time. But for the moment, the best choice is either scanning the list yourself like this, or buying the list from somebody like Ryan, which again, we're going to be adding those lists into our marketplace. Did I miss something, Ryan?
No, you got it.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just, I guess if this helps, this is something that, so back 12 years ago, when I first started with automation, this is something that confused me. I got the tool, I installed it. I'm sitting in my house, looking at the tool, clicking buttons and running it. And it's like, okay, I think this is supposed to work, but it was kind of more like, it's almost like rolling the dice at a gambling table, right? So I was taking a chance to be like, I was pushing buttons and hoping like something was going to happen, right? Money was going to show up, or I don't even know what I was expecting at the very first time because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So if you feel like that, that's okay, because that's how I felt too. And what happens is, for me personally, it helps me to understand that all automation tools, at least the automation tools that we're talking about in here, they aren't doing anything that you can't do on your own. You can literally go to a browser and you can do this step by step by step. You have a list of roofers. If we click on one of those and we go to the contact page, right? Contact us. There's a contact form. We can type out our name and we're sending advertisements. That's all this is. This is no different than an advertisement on YouTube or Google or Facebook or anything else. It's just an ad that we're sending. This is just like a billboard or TV commercial that we're sending through their website, right? Hey, what's wrong with your site? Hit submit. And we've sent an ad, we've engaged them. Now they're going to respond and say, I don't know, what's wrong with the website? Or can you help me fix it? Or whatever we're doing, right? Like we just did it. We did what the tool does. That's it. That's what the tool does.
Yep.
What the tool does for you is it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at a massively rapid rate.
So let's talk about how to do that. Okay. So obviously you guys know how to send a message through a website. That's easy, right? You go to the contact page, you send the message. If you do that for 2 hours manually, you'll probably send 100 messages. Take a really long time. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to get this list of URLs, and then we're going to craft our message and send it. Now, there's some things we have to do beforehand, but I want to show you how to get the list of URLs. Okay. So right now we have roofers up here, right? We just said that we want roofers. We want to find websites around that are listed for roofers. Okay. We're going to click on OK. We're going to grab the draggy thing here. We're just going to hover over until we get the draggy thing go down, because you're not going to have all these different projects like we do. We'll talk more about that later, but our new project should be right there. It's called test. Okay. Now, right now it says we have 0 websites, 0 checked, 0 sent, and failed, all these other things, right? Now, right now we want to fill this project with websites, right? That we can contact. So we need to find the websites. Now, Ryan, before we do this, before we find the websites, do we need to have anything before that? Like, do we need to have proxies in order to start scraping these websites off of Google and these other places?
So no, yes and no. The no is for you to test, and I would encourage you just to test this and play with this. This is how I personally learn. I push all the buttons and see what happens without going crazy. Right. We put in one keyword and we can go with no proxies. There's not going to be a problem. If you want to jump in and deploy this and start going, sending 10,000 contact forms, like we said earlier, then at that time we need to do proxies. And so we'll talk about that. But I think right now we just want to click start. And then when we click start, there is a drop down that says to check for the website. So yeah, start up there and then scrape for new websites is a very top option. Correct. Just click that. And when it says scrape, so you see everything running down there at the bottom. It's just going to town right now. There's a ton of search engines built into this. And without worrying about that, there are a lot of search engines around the world. So it's just built on mass right now. This is not really accuracy. Again, we're just starting. So it's going out and finding bucket loads of websites. All these source URL and website that you see right now, it is all of the roofer websites. So you can start without any proxies and just look at this and see what it's doing, and it's just working right now. So it's already found, let's see, 600 sites.
We have a good point here. So somebody just said we should have unchecked test. So what happened, by the way, you can see right here, it says keyword use. So right now these are all the websites, these are all the URLs that we're finding for 2 keywords, because the first keyword that we actually put was the name of the project, test. So if you look on the right here, it says roofers. It's showing all of the different keywords and the websites that the keywords are basically being used to scrape. And so one of the things that it's doing is it's scraping websites for the word test. So it's scraping websites for the word test, and it's also scraping websites for the word roofers. So we're going to get, right now we have 1,000 sites that we have listed that we can contact or try to contact. But half of them are for the word test and half of them are for the word roofers. So in order to stop this, we're going to click on stop. It takes a second. This tool again is a little clunky, but we're going to actually uncheck the word test. And what we're going to do is let's actually click on OK, and let's clear this list. Okay. So we're going to click on the list, or what do we, is there a right? Yeah, so right click. We're going to go to remove all. We're going to click on yes. And now that list is removed. So you can see we have 0 websites again, right? So now if we click on start, scrape, now it's only going to find for roofers. Okay, so we just fixed that problem. And one of the things you're going to find about Ryan and why he's actually so incredibly valuable is because Ryan's been doing this again for 12 plus years now, and he knows all these little things that you have to fix, because there are little things that are going to go wrong. There's going to be things like this where you're going to be like, oh, I don't know how to fix this. Ryan is a genius at fixing these problems. And so again, that's why we set up the marketplace. If you want to book a one-on-one call with Ryan or with any of us, we're happy to help. We want to give you the resources you need, but let's just cover again, recap what we did today. So we set up a VPS, we set up the software, and now we're scraping for websites. Now, ideally, after this, we need to set up a couple more things before we can start sending messages. So I don't want to overload you guys because we're already in about 45 minutes in the class today. On the next lesson, what do you think, Ryan? I think we should talk about CAN spam and we should talk about proxies. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Those are the 2 things on my list that we need to do in order to be able to start sending at scale.
Oh, and this is another great question by Mike. Is there a step-by-step process and or checklist? Now, what I want to mention, a lot of people ask us, they say, what is the difference between the AI Profits course that we did and these classes? AI Profits is the textbook, okay? So if you want to follow along with a textbook, you can join the AI Profits. The AI Profits will show you basically everything you need to do step by step. These classes are to help bring you through live with assignments and everything, almost like a class, like a college class. And we're going to actually have a certification at the end as well. Obviously, we're going to add as much other stuff as we can in here too. I want to really start covering how to sell services, how to monetize the leads that you're getting. I want to show you how to utilize the marketplace if you're going to be using that. There's going to be a lot more other than what we just covered in the AI Profits class, but the AI Profits class is more of the textbook. And so if you want to speed up your learning, you don't want to just learn at our pace with the class, you're welcome to go buy the textbook. It's at aiprofitscourse.com, but completely optional. You're going to learn the same thing either way, plus more in the classes, but that's really the big difference. Okay. Okay, so let's open it up for questions. I want you guys in here unmuting yourselves if possible. I love having you not just in the chat. It's optional. You don't have to. You can ask questions in the chat, but feel free to raise your hand. Feel free to, oh, good. Yeah, I don't think people will be upset going 1 hour. So again, one thing I want to say as well, guys, is that, we're trying to make sure that the 297 or whatever, now it's 324 that you're spending on this class is the value is way, way more than what you're spending, because we really think that with the 16 classes we're doing, plus probably more, that you're going to get so much value from this that it's going to blow you away. And so hopefully you've already got a ton of value so far. But again, this is just the start. This is week number 1. I really think that you guys are going to seriously benefit from the stuff that we're sharing in here. And you're going to be seeing our latest and most up-to-date things that we're testing in real time. You're going to be able to use all of it for your own businesses. Okay, 4 raised hands. Awesome. I'm going to open it up the floor. Let's actually stop the screen share here. Hopefully that was a good amount for everybody today. I try to break it up into chunks. All right. I don't know whose hand was raised first. I see Alan right here. Alan, you want to unmute yourself?
Sure. Thanks, guys. Everybody can hear me okay?
Yes.
So trying to do the same thing as you're going through. So I'm searching for chiropractors. I like chiros. So in doing that search and in looking on the screen share as well, you see listicles, you see .gov, you see reference sites. How do we filter that to get only here are the chiropractors or the roofers that we're looking at, so then we can pare them down and actually send them the contact request?
I'll give that to Ryan.
Sure. So when you set up your project, we didn't go through all the other tabs, but when you have your project set up, you can double click on it and open that back up where you enter your keywords. That was the scraping tab. right? So the very next tab to the right is the filter tab. And there's several different filters in there that you can do. So ignoring the top couple of boxes, your question is going to fall down under the actual, there's a domain filter and then there's a website filter. The domain is, they have a way to do a positive or a negative match, and it explains it in there. But so you could put in like .gov and filter out those. You could put in .edu and filter out those if you don't want them. Or if you only wanted, like I worked with a client who sold to government offices, you could filter out so you only get .govs. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I'll play around with all those filters, and then hopefully in the next classes we go through that later.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the classes are going to get a lot more advanced. So like if you're looking at this, you're like, oh my God, you guys are covering basic stuff. I already know this. Again, we're trying to make sure everybody goes at the same speed. So that way, when we get to the advanced, everybody knows what we're talking about versus like, hey guys, here's how we send out 10 million messages a week, right? Like we don't want to get there yet, because honestly, if you're not careful, you can do some damage. And like Ryan knows me out of everybody. I love just lighting fires on stuff. I always ask him like, Ryan, I need more lighter fluid. Give me like 20 million contact forms, right? You want to be careful though, because you can really do some damage, and you don't want to like run around with fire without knowing what you're doing first. Okay. Awesome. We'll do Jeff.
Hey guys. 2 quick questions. Probably Ryan could, well, both could probably answer it. Is there a format for the URLs to import? What's the easiest way to do that? In other words, like I did a scrape from, say, Phantom Buster. So I have a spreadsheet. Do I just take that and just only have a URL column, or what's the easiest way to do that?
Yeah, GSA is going to work with whatever you give it, as long as it's a properly formatted URL. So if you just load in like whatever.com, it might not work. You might need to put the http:// on there for it to work, but it doesn't matter if it's the home page, if it is the marketing page. GSA is going to go and it's going to look for the contact form. So you can load in any page on the website you want. Ideally, though, it's probably better to load in just the home page, because usually most websites link to the contact page. We obviously have to get to the contact page because that's where the contact form is. Most websites link, every single URL links to the contact page, but it's possible that if you get too deep into it, it might not, you might miss it. So ideally you could have a column there that's just like the home page. But
so a Phantom Buster scrape, do I save it as a CSV or do I copy the column? What can you show how to import? Is that something you can just quickly?
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Is it on that first scraping tab under settings?
It's when you enter it, when you make a project, Jeff, instead of adding a keyword, it says add URLs, and then it'll just let you select a CSV. But again, we will cover this. Trust me, like we're going to go over it. And Jeff, I'll personally walk you through it as well, because you and I have known each other for a long time.
Okay.
And again, also, if you guys haven't already and you want to ask questions and you want to participate, ask them in the Facebook group. Also, we're happy to get on a one-on-one call with you within the marketplace too. We're setting it up today, so we're going to have it in there where if you want to book a time with us too, and you want extra help. Okay.
The only other quick thing I have, and maybe this is for a one-on-one off air, but I need to get lists. I sent you a note, Chase. I need to get lists for all London businesses. I'm going to be opening up a business there, and I want to send out a note to businesses in London. What would be the best method for doing that?
Well, it would probably just hire us, but other than that, Ryan, I would let you answer that.
Yeah, so it's probably an off-air question, but one method would be to take a massive amount of keywords, right? Go to ShineRanker, generate like as many keywords as you can, like thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of keywords, and then just merge the word London on the end of those. Everything you can think of, and then put the word London on the end of it, right? Or if you have a specific demographic, like some sort of postcode, whatever, put those on the end of your keywords, right? And then load those into the scraping part and let it scrape up that list of relevant URLs.
Unless you have a list to buy, I'd be happy to do that too.
I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it after.
Figure that out.
Okay, got it. Thank you, guys.
Yep. Jonathan, I saw your hand up pretty early.
Hey, super quick. Is there a way to filter the GSA software to get businesses in specific zip codes or geographical locations?
Yeah, just put the zip code on the end of your keyword. So again, think about this in that keyword section. You want to, it's just going to Google. So like if you were going to Google, right, and you wanted to get, you know, roofers in a specific zip code, you put roofers and then the zip code. The same thing goes in the keyword section. Just put your keyword and then put the zip code, and you're going to get back results that are in that zip code.
Perfect. I just wanted to say I'm completely new to this whole space. I'm finding this absolutely fascinating, and I'm beginning to realize like how big this whole thing is. It's quite interesting. So thank you guys.
Awesome. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I'm really excited too, because I think one of my goals with these classes is like, I want to bring you guys through getting the leads. And then I want to like, eventually, maybe we have another class down the line where we show you, hey, here's everything you need to do for a website. Here's everything you need to do for a client. Because there's always going to be, Cotton was talking about this last night. It's a shame that didn't work out, but there's always going to be other problems. There's always going to be a next level. Okay, I'm making 10,000 a month. How do I get to 20? You know, and so I want to scale with you guys and show you, you know, like there's so many other problems that start to emerge. Like we're just at the very beginning, but I really think that this is one of the most important things you need to learn first, because if, you know, we can help you learn how to fish for yourself, right? How to provide your own income. And as you start to scale, you're going to go, okay, well, you know, I don't want as much fish. I want this other type of fish, right? And then it's like, okay, well, you're going to need a different fishing pole. You're going to need a different, and so all these other things are going to start coming up. But anyways, Sydney, right? Oh, sorry, I got to unmute you. Sorry, man.
It's Sydney.
Hey.
Hey, during the sign up, I was on the solid .com. I was going through the purchase. And I'm at the checkout, but on the left hand side says categories. Do I pick a category? I'm doing the 4 GB baseline X. It's $56.85. Validate code. I don't have that, but on the left hand side it says category. Do I pick a category, or just showing me that all the categories of VPNs I could be able to have access to?
Ryan?
I don't see that in front of me. Let me go back to the website. But is it have like a little red asterisk? Is categories required?
No, because you know, once you pick that you're going, what baseline you're going to do. I did 4 gig, the one that was recommended for 18. I did the okay, let me go through the I chose my the Windows 2019. I did all that, and then I click, you know, continue, so I can go to checkout. I'm sitting at checkout, but I want to check out because on the left hand side it shows a cart and it says categories: Euro share hosting, US share hosting, Euro Linux VPS, blah 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 blah, all the way down baseline. So I didn't know if I was supposed to pick something or just go through checkout, and this is just demonstrating me.
That's a list of other stuff you can buy.
Oh, that's all it is.
That's all it is. That's the menu of more things. I want to sell you more stuff.
Okay. All right, I'm good on that then. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Sydney. We're going to call on Tevin. We're going to end this after Tevin, and then I want to give you guys the assignment for tonight, and then that's it. So Tevin, oh, you're unmuted. Cool. Oh, I think your mic's off. I can't hear you, but it says your mic is unmuted. Don't worry about it. You can ask, you want to type it in? You can type it in. Is that link Cotton Grammar or Chase's marketplace? So it's our marketplace. Cotton actually came up with the idea because he has his own marketplace. I thought it was an amazing idea. And ideally, right now we're releasing it to everybody in the program. If people love it, we're going to end up probably releasing it to everybody. But right now it's just people in the program. And I'm thinking at some point we might even call it the ShineRaker marketplace, where we just put it on ShineRaker and it's, you know, part of that. So, okay, let's talk about the assignment after Tevin asks, could we already purchase the fake websites? Oh, you're talking about the redirect links or the links so that you're not getting the website flagged. You can, yeah, again, and like I said, if you go to, look, if you want to do this all yourself right now, feel free to go to AIprofitscourse.com. Ryan already made like 12 or 13 videos, step-by-step what you have to do for this. If you want to just speed along, up to you. You can get the fake websites if you want, up to you. Okay, awesome. Oh, okay, so assignment for today. So what we're going to do, step number 1, let me actually share my screen really quick. Don't want it to keep you guys too long because we're about to go over. So step first assignment. So what I want to do, first of all, is I'm going to give away one license to GSA, to the contact tool. I'm going to give away one VPS, and I'm going to give, I think that'll be it. Yeah, we'll give away one and one. And all you have to do, first of all, the assignment is, if you haven't downloaded GSA yet, download it. If you haven't gotten a VPS and you want a VPS, go get one. That's the assignment. The last assignment, and this is optional if you want to be entered to win one of these things, because I'm going to be giving it away. And if you already own these things, if you already own GSA or a VPS, we'll just give you the value of it. We'll just PayPal you it. All you have to do is just say in the group, make sure you join the group. Just say that you enjoyed the class today. You're excited. You're getting value. Say whatever you want. Again, it helps us get engagement, get more people interested in joining the classes. And so just make a post in there and you'll be entered to win. We'll pull it, I don't know, in the next 48 hours, just so that people that are watching the replay can do the same. Okay. That's the assignment though. And I think that's good. Ryan, what do you think? Download the tool, open it up, maybe scrape some lists. What else? Set up the VPS if they haven't already. Anything?
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a solid bit. You can, by the time you get to playing with the tool, that's going to be enough to keep until next week. So yeah, just download the tool, install it in a VPS if you want to do that.
Okay. I think we got through everything. If we use solid SEO for VPS, we don't need host wins.
Correct. Yeah, they're the same. We gave you two choices.
What if we don't use VPS? You don't have to if you already have a Windows computer. Will affiliate be the quickest path to automating? Affiliate is what we're going to be covering after. So first thing I would recommend is get a client if you really need the income. If you don't need the income, I would recommend affiliate, which we're going to be covering later on in this class. Okay. But again, I can't run it too late. I know people have to get back to whatever they're doing. I appreciate you all for being here. Again, make sure you check the group, check your email. If we do an impromptu class, I'll let you know as much as I can in advance. We might have somebody, I can't make any promises, either tomorrow or Saturday, come on and speak as well. Again, if we are, I'll send out an email. Otherwise, I will see you guys Ryan and I will see you on Tuesday. Again, we really appreciate you. If we missed your question, if you didn't get it answered, again, go post it in the Facebook group. We'll do our best to get to you. But thanks for being here and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, guys.